This retro looking device is actually a USB-C hub with a built-in monitor and NVMe slot for the M4 Mac Mini. So in today's video, I'm going to review this cool little retro device trying to look like an old Mac from the 1980s from a company called Wokyis. And just to let you all know, they did send this out for me to review. However, they didn't pay me, and it is important to let you know that as this device is now on Kickstarter, so it isn't out yet. So any review that you see as of right now on this product, they have sent us this product. A lot of channels are kind of not acknowledging that. So I just want to be upfront with you, the audience, to let you know that this was sent to me, but they did not see this video before I put it out. And there are some minor issues with this product for anybody that's using 3 monitors, which we'll get to later on in this video. But overall, I do really enjoy this product. So let me show you what it's all about. So first, let's talk about the ports, because that's kind of the biggest thing with this device is expandability. On the front of the unit, there are 2 USB-A ports, a SD card slot, a microSD card slot, and a USB-C port as well. And then this colored icon is actually a power button for the monitor itself, which is a little 5-inch display. It's not very high resolution, but it is really cool. It does count as an external monitor on your computer, and that's really important for a detail later. On the back, this little magnetic slot right here is where the NVMe goes, and as you can see, you could put different size NVMe's. This is the $99 model, which has the 10 gigabit NVMe slot. They are coming out with a $199 model soon that will have a 40 gigabit NVMe slot, but I just want to let you know that is the version that I have. Then for ports on the back, it has 2 USB-A's that are 10 gigabit. It has an HDMI-in, so if you aren't using an Apple product, you can plug in directly to this monitor to use it for something else like a PlayStation, whatever it may be. There is the host USB-C, which that is what you plug in to your Mac Mini or whatever Apple device you're going to use. The USB-C on the right is for power in. So if you're going to be using the HDMI-in, you are going to need to power in this unit, as with Apple products, it actually gets the power in the host USB-C. But for non-Apple products, you need to get power from somewhere. And then all the way on the right, it has a headphone jack. Now, as you can see right here on this model, I have this little piece right here. Now you open it up and you could put your M4 Mac Mini inside of it. But if you're not using a Mac Mini, then you could just leave this piece on and it makes it look a little bit more complete, and you can put it next to your computer or wherever it may be, and it's a really great desk item. Now, you may think this device is kind of gimmicky, and I would say yes, in some ways it is, because you don't get much use out of the screen, but it is nice to have the expandability of the ports and the NVMe slot. And I think the target audience for this device are going to be people who want that nostalgia factor, who had those Macs in the 80s, or their parents had the Macs in the 80s, and you just want to have this little bit of history on your desk to kind of remind you of a simpler time. Now, there are some real practical use cases for this. A big case is, which my M4 Mac Mini is going to end up being at some point in the future, is server computers. So with having this on your M4 Mac Mini, if you're just using the Mac as a server computer in the future and you don't need to have a bunch of monitors hooked up, but you need to be able to use the actual Mac to make some settings changes or whatever every once in a while, that's where I could see this screen coming in handy, where you have it on your desk or in a closet for the server and you could just access it really quickly, especially if you're using wireless mouse, keyboard, all that stuff. That is going to come in handy, especially for me, as at some point I'm going to upgrade past my M4 Mac Mini, whether it's to an M5 or whether it's to a Pro chip, especially because I'm starting to need it a little bit more now, dealing with red footage like we're filming on right now. So this is going to come in handy in the future, and it's why I actually had initially reached out to Wokeys to see if they would send me a unit, and I was happy that they did. Now, here's the part that's a little bit of a con for anybody who has 3 monitors, and it's specifically, that's really the only con I found. So I do run 3 monitors, and this of course counts as one of the 3. So I took one of my monitors off my desk. But even if you're running 3 monitors with this device, some monitors are acting a little wonky with the Wokeys, meaning that you'll plug in the Wokeys, you'll plug in your second monitor, and then when you plug in your third monitor, sometimes my M4 Mac Mini restarts until I unplug one of the monitors. Now, it doesn't happen with all of my monitors, but specifically with my setup I have actually right back here, my AG Nuevo and my old Apple Thunderbolt display, which is still thriving after years and years of use. That thing's probably like 15 years plus old. Some combinations just don't work. I have a Dell coming in that Wokyis says is compatible with my Thunderbolt display and this, and so that's going to end up being my third monitor once that comes in, and I'll move my AG Nuevo for something else. But it is worth noting that just certain setups may not work with the external monitors. So I don't have a list because I don't have that many external monitors. So just be aware that if you're someone who uses 3 external monitors, you may want to check to see and test out to see if it's compatible or not. And if it's not, this may either be a deal breaker or you may want to use a different external monitor with your device. But overall, my experience with this has been great. Obviously, the NVMe isn't that fast. It's only 10 gigabits in the back here, but I'm not using it for editing, even though you technically could. I'm really just using it more for storage. If you have any questions, anything you want to see on the Wokeys M4 Mac Mini or any other content, let me know in the comments below. And if you got knowledge and value out of today's video, please make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell to keep up to date with the latest videos from the channel. And until next time, my name's Jeff Fagien. Thank you for joining me as always, and I will catch you in the next video.